Ladies and gentlemen, it's crunch time. I'm Jefferson Penrod. The clock is running, so let's go to work. This is my NBA Finals preview. Such an exciting matchup that we have here in the NBA Finals. Now, I'm by no means saying that the playoffs are rigged, because they're not. I mean, if you just watched, you know that there's no way to rig. However, for the league, this was their dream matchup. I mean, you have the Knicks, who haven't been in the finals in almost 30 years and who are ridiculously popular in New York and throughout the country, against an international star and one of the rising stars in the NBA in Victor Wembanyama, along with the rest of the San Antonio Spurs. So, I'm super excited. Game 1 is tonight. I want to break down what has made each of these teams successful in the playoffs so far, and then talk about how they match up with each other. Now, we'll start with the Knicks, who have had a lot of time off because of their sweep against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they've only played, I think the stat is, don't quote me on this, but they've only played 4 games in the last 3 weeks because they had such a break after their sweep of Philly, waiting for the Cleveland Detroit series to end. They played 4 games against Cleveland, and now they've had this break waiting for the finals to start. But with the Knicks, obviously it starts with Jalen Brunson, who's third in the league in playoff points per game at 26.9 on a little over 48% from the field, 35% from three, and just about 84% from the free throw line, 6.6 assists as well. And at times, especially, for example, in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, he's had the ability, and partially the necessity, but the ability to put the team on his back. There's been talk throughout about whether or not he has the capability to be the number one option on a title team due to his size and play style. So I guess we'll find out in this series, but he's been able to do it so far. At times when the Knicks needed him to step up, he has stepped up. But he hasn't been alone. I mean, the whole Knicks starting line has been great. But I specifically want to talk about Karl Anthony Towns, who has been playing especially well. Just about 17 points per game, 10.5 rebounds, and just a hair under 6 assists, 5.9 assists on 57% from the field, 48.9% from 3, and 89.1% from the free throw line. Cat's been playing incredible. And part of that has to do with the way that Cat has been playing within the offense. Mike Brown, head coach of the Knicks, has kind of been playing Cat in more of a point center role. Now, not completely. I mean, it's not, for example, how Wemby plays in stretches. It's similar, but not the same as Draymond Green on the prime Golden State Warriors, part of that having to do with Mike Brown's experience on the bench in Golden State. But the ball's been in his hands more, and he's been making plays, both scoring and assisting. I mean, in the playoffs, he's averaging about 6 assists, and his career assist average is 3.1. So he's practically doubled it in this playoff run. Karl Anthony Towns has been playing very, very well for New York. If there was a starter that hasn't necessarily been playing very well in the playoffs, it's been Josh Hart. He's struggled the most out of these starters in this run, at least scoring-wise. I mean, he's been rebounding well, but scoring-wise, only 11.4 points on 44% from the field and 30% from downtown. So not the best stretch for Josh Hart, and he will need to be at his best for the Knicks to be able to win this series. Now, overall, the Knicks have been great in the playoffs because they've never let up. Whether they've been down by 20 or up by 20, every possession has mattered, and they've played like it. And that has led to their 12-2 record in the postseason, including 11 straight wins. And a lot of those have been dominant. Dominance has been the name of the game for the Knicks in these playoffs. Blowing teams out by crazy margins, almost looking effortless. And they will need that in this that is their first NBA Finals run since 1999, before I was born, when they faced off against the San Antonio Spurs. That's right. This is a matchup of 27 years ago. Now to look at the Spurs, obviously the headliner for San Antonio is Victor Wembanyama. He's been performing well on the court, no question. I mean, 23 points, almost 11 rebounds, 3.5 blocks, and a steal is, I mean, insane. Insane numbers for the third-year Frenchman. But more impressive to me has been his composure and his leadership. Remember, San Antonio is a pretty young team. I mean, Stephon Castle in his second year, Dylan Harper in his first year. De'Aaron Fox is kind of the leader of the players that contribute, and he's still relatively young and doesn't have very much playoff experience. And Wemby, in only his third year, has taken the reins emotionally as well as he has on the floor. Just looking at the conclusion of Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, that was, I mean, I loved watching him getting emotional. You could see how much winning meant to him, and you also saw how the team rallied around him, that they all felt the same way, that they were excited about the way that, I mean, obviously they're excited about going to the Western Conference Finals, but that they cared and that they were a group, and that's so important. The guard line for San Antonio has been great. I mean, De'Aaron Fox putting up a little over 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. Stephon Castle with 19 points, 5 rebounds, and almost 7 assists. And the rookie Dylan Harper, 13 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. And now, granted, not all 3 of them have been healthy throughout the course of the playoffs, but as long as all 3 are healthy, you pretty much have at least 2 of them on the floor at all times, which is so valuable for the Spurs. I mean, all 3 of them have been playing great, both offensively and defensively, and it's just so valuable to have a guard line that can be dominant, especially when so much of the defensive attention is going towards Victor Wembanyama in the middle. And again, Wemby's not doing it alone. Part of what's been so important for the Spurs has been when Wemby's off the floor, and Luke Cornett has been holding down the fort when Wemby rests or is in foul trouble. In fact, one could argue that he won the game for San Antonio in Game 7 with that incredible block in transition. At least online, I've seen jokes saying that that's reminiscent of LeBron's block, blocked by Cornett. But even if he hasn't, he's been holding down the fort, he's been playing minutes. I mean, they don't need a second Wembanyama out there. Would that be nice? Yes. But Luke Cornett has just needed to play his role, and he's played his role very, very well. So yes, the Spurs are very young. They don't have much playoff experience outside of this year. Harrison Barnes doesn't play very much. He's obviously got plenty of experience, but outside of that, I mean, De'Aaron Fox was on the Kings for forever, so he doesn't even have that much playoff experience. But the team seems to be taking that into stride and running with it. In an interview a couple days ago, Wemby said, quote, "The lack of experience is a strength of us because we could do impossible stuff because we don't know it's impossible." Now that's just some good life advice in general, but also shows that this Spurs team isn't afraid of everything. I mean, are they? In fact, I'll look. I don't know if they're the favorites or not. Favorites. See, unprofessional. I'm not prepared. So the Spurs are the favorites, but I mean that doesn't mean anything, especially with their lack of experience. The Knicks haven't been to the finals, but they've been making playoff runs for years before getting to this point, and so part of that may just be they don't have to worry about living up to the moment because they're just taking it all in. So that definitely could play a factor. The other thing that could play a factor, we'll get to this matchup here in just a second, but is that classic rest versus rust. I mean, the Knicks haven't played in so long, but the Spurs have consistently been playing every couple of days with this little break in between. So that's something to look out for. As far as the matchup, I just have one key for each team that I think may be vital. For New York, my question is, can the bench be effective? With as much as San Antonio attacks the rim, whether it's Wemby down low or their guard line driving, going to the rim is their strength. So the question is, the starters, they may end up in foul trouble. Can the bench, which has been lackluster at times, scoring-wise at least, pick up the slack? I mean, no one off of the bench averages more than 7 points a game. I mean, you've got Deuce McBride with 6.9, Landry Shamet with 5.7, Jordan Clarkson with 5.4, Mitchell Robinson with 5.3, Jose Alvarado with 4.2, and no one else plays like that much minutes-wise. Anyways, mostly just been garbage time. So, if/when the starters for New York get in foul trouble, can the bench pick up the slack and contribute scoring-wise? For San Antonio, my key is, and this may sound counterintuitive because of how he's played, but don't necessarily be over-reliant on Wemby. Between Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson, the Knicks kind of have the personnel that could slow him down. Not necessarily stop him, but slow him down. I mean, Cat isn't quite as tall, but, agility and body-wise, pretty similar. And then Mitchell Robinson is more of your classic rim defender. So they may have the personnel to slow Wemby down. But the Spurs have enough options to attack other ways. They just need to be able to use those. I mean, we talked about the guard line. You've also got Vassell and Champagnie on the wings. So, yes, obviously you want to play through him. He's your best player. He's an all-NBA first-teamer. But don't force it if the Knicks find a way to slow him down defensively. So, those are a couple things to look out for matchup-wise. My prediction, we haven't really been good about doing predictions because we kind of got back or started recording episodes again in the middle of the playoffs. But my prediction is that the Spurs will win this one in 6 games. I just think they have too many options that they can attack in different ways. But no matter what happens, I mean, if I'm wrong, great. I'd prefer to be wrong in that the series goes longer versus shorter. But no matter what happens, I'm just super excited for this series. The NBA Finals is always great. And sometimes, you get matchups that aren't as good as others. This is a great matchup. I mean, you've got stars on both sides. Both fan bases are incredibly hyped. I mean, if New York wins a game, let alone the playoffs, I mean, the city might just implode. So super excited for this one. No matter what happens, I'll be looking forward to it. And so, yeah, that's my NBA Finals preview. We'll look forward to them, and that will do it for this episode of Crunch Time with Jeffy. Make sure you're liking and subscribing if you're on YouTube. You're following if you're on podcast. Make sure you follow the Instagram at Crunch Time with Jeffy for all the content that's coming out there. And until then, we'll see you later.